What's going on, guys? Bronx Bomber 9903 here with another MLB The Show video. And in this one, I'll be showing you some of my top hitting tips. And so, what you can see on the screen is some of my hitting stats through the season so far. And now, what you can see is some of my settings. So, what you want to use for the hitting view is pretty much anything that has strike zone in the name. What you want to use for the interface is zone, because you can have the most control for what you put in, and for the difficulty you want to use legend. So prior to giving you guys the first tip, I have an extra tidbit of information for you, and this is the equipment that you want to use for playing the game. First of all, get a control freak, put it on your left stick so that you have greater range of motion while you're controlling the PCI, and second of all, get a gaming monitor. The brand that I would recommend is BenQ, because that's the make of the monitor that I have. And so the reason why you would want a monitor is because you're playing a game that relies on when you input the swing button, and so when you have greater time to react, you're going to have better results. So the first tip that I have for you guys is practice. So this could be really either in the practice mode or in challenge of the week, and typically I play the practice mode. That is where this clip that you're watching has come from, and there's three things that you want to keep in mind when you're playing in the practice mode. First of all, make sure that you play at a time of day that you struggle with, so you can practice playing at the time of day. I struggle playing during the daytime, so that's why I'm playing during the daytime here. Second of all, face a pitcher who is tough to hit. They have a good speed differential for their pitches. They have a nasty fastball and a nasty breaking ball. Here I'm facing Steven Strasburg because his breaking ball is nasty. Some of the swings that I took on that, I look like a complete fool. And so he's a good one to face because the Nationals are the default team that it matches you up against since they won the World Series last year. And third, play on legend. This is because it will be similar to putting a donut on your bat in actual baseball, because the pitch speeds are faster, so when you play in a game on All-Star or Hall of Fame, it's gonna seem so much slower. Second tip that I have for you guys is be patient. You are gonna want to swing at a pitch that you know that you could do damage with. If you take a swing at, say, a sinker that is below the strike zone, then you're going to hit a ground ball every time, so you want to wait for your pitch. Third tip that I have for you, and it seems kind of stupid, it seems kind of obvious, but there's a bunch of people who don't do it, and actually I used to not do this, is watch the ball. This is what your T-ball coach tells you when you're 4 years old, but so many people don't do it. So if you don't watch the ball come in towards the plate, then you're not going to know where it is, and you're not going to hit it very well. Fourth tip that I have for you is the approach that you want while you're up at the plate. Now, this can vary from player to player, but I'm going to tell you guys the approach that I typically use. So how I like to place my PCI is slightly up and slightly towards the throwing arm side of the pitcher, and while the pitcher's in the stretch, but when he hasn't yet started his motion, I like to wiggle the PCI around. This is similar to a guy like Gary Sheffield, who's in the game this year, who does that little bat wiggle while he's waiting. And so what I like to do is look for a pitch that's typically a fastball that's down the middle that I know that I could do damage with. While I don't have any strikes, I don't want to swing at a pitch that's on the corner, even if it is in the strike zone, because all I'm going to do is hit a weak pop-up or a weak ground ball, and I'm going to get out. However, when I do have two strikes, it's a good idea to try to foul off a pitch that I don't think I can hit, and still, if I get a pitch that's in the middle of the zone, I want to try to clobber it. And so different people like to look for different things while they're hitting, and typically what I do is I sit on fastball and I react to off speed, because this is the best thing that you could do, because it's easier to sit fastball and react for a slow pitch than it is to sit on a slow pitch and react to a fastball. Now the fifth and final tip that I have for you guys. This actually isn't a tip that I came up with. It's a tip that I heard in a video that I watched sometime during last year's game. So this is a tip that CBrev came up with. While you're pitching, you are going to want to use the same camera as you do when you're hitting. And this is because when you're watching the pitches coming in while you're pitching, this is kind of practicing for when you're hitting. You're getting some more repetitions in, and subconsciously you will become a better hitter. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that some of the tips that I gave you could really help you out. And if you follow some of these tips and you keep on playing the game and practice, then you will make World Series in no time. And so I'm a spokesperson for this, because back in MLB 17 I sucked. I was typically an all-star, maybe pennant race player, and now I'm in a position where I could very easily make World Series. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked what you saw, click thumbs up on the video, click that subscribe button, leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Bronx Bomber signing out.